today. The gun club is located on Peace Palace Point. That's near Garden of the Gods and Centennial.
And KRDO News Channel 13's Carl Winder talked to neighbors who are hoping the club won't be too loud.
Putting his shovel into the ground. It's been more than a year since Whistling Pines owner Bob Holmes came up with the idea to build a second gun club.
We've had our challenges, but everything has worked out, and today's the day.
Holmes received the okay to build his second gun club from Colorado Springs City Council in April.
You know, we have our financing secured, we have a building permit, we're ready to rock and roll right now.
Even though council gave the approval, the neighbors in the Pine Cliff area are still worried about the gun noise.
Now that they're building, we'll just kind of, monitor and hope that their sound studies prove true and we don't hear it.
But even though neighbors plan to keep an ear on the gun club below their homes, they say they are still rolling out the welcome mats.
We'll be good neighbors. Their city allowed them in, so we will work with that.
As for the noise, Holmes has a challenge for the neighbors.
I made the offer to actually go in their decks, have shooting going on down here, and if we hear anything, we can ban that caliber.
In Colorado Springs, Carl Winder, KRDO News Channel 13.
Thank you, Carl. Holmes plans on opening the gun club in November.
And another gun club, the Magnum Shooting Center, will have a groundbreaking on its facility tomorrow at 10 a.m. across from the new Bass Pro Shops in North Colorado Springs.
2 people are under arrest accused of breaking into a Colorado Springs marijuana business. Police say Damon Bean was found this morning hiding in a garage on Bolt Avenue. Officers say he ran from a medical marijuana shop located on Bush Avenue near 21st Street in Cimarron. Police say they saw forced entry and heard 2 people inside. They saw 2 men running from the store and getting on bikes, but they didn't get too far. K-9 units were called out to help find the suspects. Another person is being held as a person of interest. 2 Colorado Springs K-9 officers will be safer on the street.
Officers Heat and Petra got bullet and stab-proof vests. Colorado Springs police say the K-9 officers often run into dangerous suspects.
It's not unusual for K-9 officers to come into contact with someone who may be resisting arrest or trying to commit a violent crime.
Well, the vests cost about $2,000, but these were donated. Women getting off economic assistance and back into the workplace got a helping hand today.
It's all part of an event in Colorado Springs called Women Helping Women. Potential employers were also there to hire.
And Jennifer Bailey was recently laid off. Let's hear from her.
It's like, I'm walking away from this and I'm just like, I'm feeling so much more encouraged again.
Makeup and hairstylists help the women look and feel their best. Each woman could also choose professional clothing from community donations. KRDO News Channel 13 is teaming up with the March of Dimes.
You can join us to raise money for babies right here in southern Colorado. There will be 2 events this weekend, one in Colorado Springs at UCCS and in Pueblo at Gateway Park. If you want to get involved, head on over to our webpage, krdo.com, and look for the March of Babies banner. Well, Broncos headquarters is getting a facelift, but that means fans won't be able to watch training camp practices at Dove Valley this summer.
Too bad. The project cost $35 million. The Broncos say it will expand and modernize the Dove Valley headquarters.
Construction on team headquarters should be completed by the time players report for the start of training camp toward the end of July. The team, though, they will have 3 open practices at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. For more information on the dates, go to our webpage, krdo.com.
Be sure and check that out. Well, will it help or will it hurt? Drug users might soon be able to exchange dirty needles for clean ones. But is that only encouraging the habit? We'll have all sides for you.
Plus, first at 4, the fight against the feds gained national attention. Now the Nevada rancher is getting equal and opposite reaction from the public.
We mentioned the red flag warning that's up for today along the Front Range. Here's what it looks like for tomorrow. Includes everybody in eastern Colorado. So wind, that's our primary concern the next couple of days. And even beyond, although we'll have other changes too. More on that coming up.
And now, meteorologist Marty Vinachinque with Southern Colorado's most accurate forecast.
Well, we've had our share of wind, as I'm sure you're aware, and we're going to continue to have that for the next couple of days. Today we've had some gusts that, on occasion, have been up around 30 miles an hour. But tomorrow they might be a little bit higher than that, and if you don't like that, wait till Sunday when they could be up closer to 40. course, we're dropping out images right now, but I'm trying to show you what's going on. There you go, 64 degrees up on top of the Palmer Divide. And the wind there, it's out of the south, is 16 miles an hour. Obviously, we just have a partly cloudy sky. We're sitting at 76 right now in Pueblo West. Wind doesn't look too bad right now in Pueblo West, actually. It's been stronger just a little bit east of there. Skycast shows through the night. We'll likely just have partly cloudy conditions. The wind will gradually subside. Should be a real nice night. In fact, tomorrow morning, many of you are going to wake up well into the 40s, in a few spots maybe in the 50s. But you do notice at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, we will be tracking a few showers in extreme western Colorado. It's an indication of the approaching storm system. As I mentioned, a pretty mild start to the day tomorrow with a lot of 40s and 50s out here on the plains. Could see some 30s across the higher terrain. And then tomorrow starts out with a good bit of sunshine. As we move into the afternoon, we'll notice the rain and the snow becoming a bit more widespread on the other side of the Continental Divide. Locally, we'll just watch the wind crank up. And I think tomorrow afternoon, a few gusts between 35 and 40 miles an hour could occur. I mean, it'll be a warm wind. We do expect the temperatures tomorrow are going to be back up around 70 degrees in much of Colorado Springs, probably upper 60s on the Palmer Divide with a mixture of 50s and 60s. In Teller County. And along the Arkansas River, we'll be in the mid-70s to lower 80s from Canyon City eastward through Pueblo with 60s and 70s on the higher terrain to the south and west of town. Now fast forward to midnight Sunday. Now here we go. We start with some scattered showers, kind of a mixture of rain and snow. And then as the upper level system comes across the area, it looks like we'll get a period here where we could get a burst of rain and snow. It depends on elevation, but right now I would suspect that snowfall elevations be around 6,500 feet. North side of Colorado Springs, Palmer Divide up into Teller County. Question is, does this last for an hour or two, or can we keep it around for 5 or 6 hours? Because if we can, it's going to be coincident with an awful lot of wind and could lead to some very poor visibility on the Palmer Divide and perhaps even a couple of inches of snow over the mountains. Notice, though, as we move into Sunday morning, it appears most of the rain is going to start to drift off to our north and east. We will then be most concerned about that wind, which on Sunday is going to be very strong and very cold, coming out of the northwest and on occasion gusting between 40 and 50 miles an hour. So Sunday you see a 52, you think, oh, come on, that's not that bad. Yeah, but when the wind is doing 40 to 50, that doesn't feel good, especially in the shade and with a few raindrops around, which may be the case Sunday afternoon. And then we do appear to stay pretty cool through the first half of next week. Same system that's coming through this weekend is going to be very slow to pull away from us. And so we'll keep the cooler air on the backside of it, we'll stay breezy, and we may occasionally have some very spotty afternoon showers at any point through the first half of next week, but we wouldn't expect any heavy rain. Pueblo, after near 80 tomorrow, will drop back to upper 50s to lower 60s from Sunday through Wednesday. Sunday does look to bring you your best chance for some scattered showers, maybe even a crack of thunder. Wouldn't worry about snow for you in Pueblo, but certainly windy and cold and blustery would be a good day. A good way to describe Sunday, I think, for all areas. Canyon City, you'll go from mid-70s tomorrow into the 50s to around 60 from Sunday through Wednesday with a few showers here and there. Along the river, be all rain. We do think there might be some snow on the higher terrain. And again, Saturday night into Sunday morning would look to be the time that's most likely to occur. In Teller County, some of the latest stuff I've looked at suggesting 2, 3, 4 inches of snow possibly Saturday night into Sunday. And again, that depends on how long it lasts. I mean, it's obviously been very warm out, so if it doesn't stick around too long, it'll just melt on contact. But if we keep it around for 5 or 6 hours, it might be kind of wintry looking out there in some cases Sunday morning.
So Sunday is a deceiving day when you look at the 7-day forecast. You see a 60s, but then you realize that wind is going to make it feel much cooler.
This is the $9.99 versus $10 thing at the store trick. You know, for some reason $9.99 looks a little bit colder to you. Yeah, I might be best off putting 45 up there because even if it is 52, you know, 52 on a sunny, dry day with no wind, it feels pretty nice.
Yeah.
That will not be the case Sunday.
Not the case. Okay,
Thank you, Marty.
thanks for explaining.
You're welcome.
Well, after 2 tough fire seasons, the city of Colorado Springs is helping you be prepared if there's another one.
History will be made this weekend at the Vatican. Not 1, but 2 former popes will become saints.
Sorry about that slow machine.
No phone call? Psh, I bet they won't call back then. They seemed pretty scattered on the phone. Like, well, the guy you need to talk to is on a phone call right now, and I've got another, I have another phone call on hold right now. I need to go. It's like, just asking a question.
this Sonia or Sonia?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think. However you want to say that, Nortz.
Thank you.
You just feel it.
Whatever I feel. I'll just call her
it.
Sonia.
Sonia?
Welcome back. More fun stuff to talk about. A 16-year-old girl who said no to a boy to the prom, stabbed to death.
Jeez.
Welcome back. A 16-year-old girl is stabbed to death in Connecticut, and a 16-year-old boy is in custody.
Police think she may have been stabbed because she didn't want to be his date at the junior prom. Police say it happened early this morning. Paramedics tried to save the girl, but she died at the hospital. The prom was supposed to be tonight, but has been postponed.
History will be made this weekend when two popes become saints at the same time.
Pope John Paul II and John the 23rd both led the Roman Catholic Church in the 20th century. Here's Karen Travers.
History will be made on Sunday at the Vatican.
The canonization of two popes is a really big deal.
Pope John Paul II and Pope John the 23rd, both highly influential leaders of the Catholic Church in the 20th century, now poised to become saints. Crowds already have gathered in St. Peter's Square. Up to 1 million pilgrims expected to flock to Rome this weekend to celebrate and witness this major moment firsthand. Pope John Paul II will reach sainthood less than a decade after death, an unusually quick canonization that was fast-tracked by his successor, Pope Benedict XVI. At John Paul's funeral in 2005, the faithful chanted, "Santo subito," sainthood now.
John Paul, the one that most people are familiar with, really, I think, changed the face of the world, particularly through his influence in the downfall of communism.
But his canonization is not without controversy, especially among the many victims of sexual abuse by priests. His defenders say the scandal reached him late in life, when he was already in bad health.
The Pope was not living this crisis in real time as we were in the U.S.
Pope John the 23rd was called the Peasant Pope. He called the Vatican II Council that sparked significant change and ushered the Catholic Church into a new era.
John the 23rd was just as influential. He called the Great Modernizing Council, the Second Vatican Council in the 1960s.
This Sunday is truly a day for history, but two popes becoming saints is just one part of it. Two popes will also be there. Both Francis and Benedict will be on hand for the canonization. Reporting from Washington, Karen Travers, News Channel 13.
A school in Texas says it can teach you to be a psychic, medium, or a spiritual healer.
The Coker Institute of Empowerment offers classes to train your brain and body to connect with the spiritual world. Teacher Sonia Beatrice believes everyone can unleash their supernatural abilities by simply trusting their gut.
What I usually teach people is to trust your intuition. We all have it. We're all gifted. A lot of us just tend to not realize exactly what it is that's going on.
The school opened in January and charges $20 a class.
Well, if you're trying to sell your home, the market is on your side. The bidding wars are heating up around the country and in our state. We have the Inside Track next.
Plus, for one Colorado Springs high school student with autism, the play's The Thing. Hear how he's taking a key role in facing the challenge.